Dating Confessions is intended for immature listeners over the age of 18. This podcast is NSFW, and listener discretion is strongly advised.
Does hearing about the crazy shit that happens in other people's lives make you feel better about your own? Each week, Alicia and Jack share scandalous, raunchy, and straight-up crazy dating and relationship stories submitted to us by listeners like you.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Jack.
And this is Dating Confessions.
Hello, Alicia, and welcome back to Dating Confessions.
Thank you, Jack. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great, and I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving, you guys. Oh my God, we ate way too much.
Way too much.
Way too much food, but it was good.
We're just going to jump right into it. Since Alicia went first last week, I'm going to go first this week. And our first submission is from this girl who was working at a retail store in the mall. And a guy that would come in on a regular basis decided, hey, I'm going to ask this girl on a date. So she obliged. They met at a coffee shop that was actually in the mall when she got off work.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, it sounded pretty cool, no pressure, it's public, easy to get to.
Yeah.
Well, she got off work, started heading to the coffee shop. He tries to buy her a drink, cup of coffee, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And the barista kind of just laughs. Really? You have a date?
Uh-oh.
Kind of thing. So that's flag number one. When a barista kind of laughs at you and chuckles, kind of like, seeming like, what?
Like, what the hell is going on? Was the barista laughing at the dude or the girl?
Well, I think she was just kind of laughing because, not really like, ha, 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 laughing,
Yeah.
but kind of just chuckling because she probably found it odd that he was on a date.
Okay.
Because I'm sure if he goes to the mall to, to see this girl, he's probably stopping at other places like that.
Right.
So they get their cup of coffee, and she said it's going really good. It's just fine chit-chat for the most part. And then about halfway through the cup of coffee, he tells her that he needs to refill his prescription, but would like to go out with her again.
Okay, so my first question would be, prescription for what, buddy?
And that's exactly what she asked. She was like, what kind of prescription are you on?
Mm-hmm.
He then said, well, I'm on these meds to keep the purple people from talking too much.
Oh.
And that the purple people tell him to do things. And sometimes when he's asleep, they come in and rearrange his apartment for him. So she's sitting there, waiting for the punchline to this joke.
Yeah, because was she as speechless as I am right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, she's trying to wait for this punchline, but it never happens.
She's looking for the cameras.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? Am I being punked? Her cell phone rang. It was actually a telemarketer.
Uh-huh.
She said, I normally don't answer my phone on dates because that's the polite thing to do.
Right, but yeah, you needed to get out of there.
So she totally answered her phone and said, hey, I got to go get my gal pal from the hospital. Told him to, I had a great time, but I got to go do this. And got her ass out of there.
Don't call me, I'll call you.
Right.
Oh my God. The purple people.
The purple people. And the best thing is, she found out the next day from the barista that about 30 minutes later, mall security had to remove him from the coffee shop because he was having an argument with his little purple friend about how he ruined the date.
Oh my God.
And there was nobody else there.
Y'all, stop getting your dates off Craigslist.
Right? Purple people. That's the first for me. I've never heard of the purple people.
Not only did they fuck up his date. Yeah, I've never heard of little purple people either. Not only did they fuck up his date, but they fucked with him by like rearranging his apartment at night while he slept.
So yeah, they would rearrange his apartment at night, I guess. I did leave out something that she said to him. He said to her was that the only reason he asked her on a date was because the purple people said they liked her and it would be okay.
No.
Yeah.
I can't deal with that. I'm glad she got out of there, though.
I wonder if he got banned from the mall after that.
Probably.
Aside from the purple people, it sounds like, you were fairly safe. So good for you. And thank you for submitting that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start off with a bang. Literally. This chick says that she straight up had sex with this dude, with a Thai dude in Bangkok. So she banged
A dude in Bangkok.
a dude in Bangkok.
Was it a dude or a chick with a dick? I heard that's pretty prominent over there.
It could be. I mean, no, let me rephrase that. It is, because that's pretty common knowledge. But no, it's just, this sounds like it was just a, your garden variety, heterosexual, touristy hookup.
Okay, those are fun.
Mm-hmm. She hooks up with him. He doesn't speak a lick of English, like none. So she said the next day they did it, in the morning again before she left, and they really fucking went at it. And she was thirsty, and she was trying to ask him for water. Like she was, trying to motion that she needed something to drink. And she said he totally didn't understand. And he brought her a warm Coke, a warm Diet Coke.
Ew.
I just thought that was funny.
A warm Diet Coke.
Yeah. Like, that's your first thought when someone says, I'm thirsty. You bring them a warm diet. It was probably flat, too.
Do they have refrigerators in Bangkok?
Dude, come on. What is wrong with you? Of course they have refrigerators.
Isn't Bangkok like a third world country still?
No. First of all, Bangkok is not a country. It's a city in a country.
Same thing.
No.
It's the same thing.
No.
Florida's in Georgia, dumbass.
Wow.
Right?
You are so uncultured. I just thought that was really funny that, because you hear a lot about that. You hear a lot about people hooking up while they're on holiday in a different country or whatever with someone who there's a complete language barrier there. They totally cannot understand what the other person is saying. And I think that's pretty funny. So anyway, thank you for that submission. Sorry you had to drink warm Diet Coke, but
nothing wrong with warm Diet Coke.
No, especially not when you got to bang in Bangkok.
I mean, that's just a good story in itself. I banged somebody in Bangkok.
There you go. Mission accomplished.
So this submission comes from a guy, and there's a little bit of a backstory to this. He said he has money.
Okay.
Right? He's a businessman. He's in his 40s. He doesn't want women to try to date him just for his money.
I can understand that.
Right? So he said this was a date that he went on.
Mm-hmm.
He said he met this girl online. He prefaced the fact that he doesn't put pictures of himself on his dating profiles.
Mm-hmm.
Just doesn't.
Okay.
There's a picture of his little boat on his profile, he says.
Okay.
He meets this girl, and I don't know how you do that without having a photo.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. But he says he meets this girl. They go to this fancy restaurant. He kind of dresses up, but not dresses up to go to a fancy restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
He's still kind of disheveled. His shirt has wrinkles. He said he does that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
Maybe if I had money, who knows? Just to see what the women will do.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Just
so
testing them.
Yeah, which I think is kind of pretty awesome, actually.
He's doing a little social experiment.
He sees this girl's not really into him, not digging him.
Mm-hmm.
He actually gets this email while they're on the date. He checks it and he said, "Excuse me, I really need to make a phone call really quick. It's very important."
Yeah.
Well, he said the email I got was actually for a business merger that he'd been working on, and they needed some important information.
Nice.
He actually called the person and didn't leave the table, and he did that on purpose. Mm-hmm. And then he started talking about this multi-million-dollar merger.
Oh, and I bet did she get interested all of a sudden?
All of a sudden, she became a gold digger. Uh-huh. Right? He said, once I realized she wasn't into me, I was done.
Right.
I wasn't going to go any further. And he said it was just happenstance that he got that email during the date. That wasn't planned or anything.
Mm-hmm. He saw the dollar signs light up in her eyes.
Right.
Uh-huh.
He actually got off the phone. He's like, "Yeah, honey, I have to go, but it was nice talking to you." Left her there to pay the bill.
Wow. Wow. Savage. What a savage. I kind of like it, though.
I would do that if I had money, like I said. But yeah, no, I would. If I had that much money,
I mean, I understand. You have to be careful. You kind of do have to vet people, I guess, in a way.
In a way, yeah. God knows, you get somebody you're dating and she finds out you have a lot of money and then suddenly she's like super interested,
Yeah,
like more so.
Yeah, because that's the shady part. Like she wasn't interested to begin with, but once she found out or once she thought that he had money, then it was a game changer for her. Like that's really shallow.
That's more than shallow. That's pretty cuntish.
Yeah, I mean.
You can say the word. It's okay.
No.
So, dude, I hope you find somebody. I really do. But that's a great way to go about doing it, in my opinion. So thanks for that submission.
Okay, so this next one is really funny. This one is from a girl. She basically had a drunken weekend hookup with this guy. They met at a bar. She went back to his apartment. She said it was a really nice apartment. Like, I guess he lived in a high-rise apartment.
Those are great.
Yeah, with like a doorman and everything.
Oh, those are super great.
Mm-hmm. They do it. She said it was great. It was awesome. She had a good time.
Did he live high enough to where they could do it against the window and nobody would see? Because that's my like dream in life, is to bang somebody in a high rise up against the window, knowing that somebody could see, but it's very unlikely.
Yeah, who's gonna see besides the window cleaners and the helicopter pilots? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how high up he lived, but I mean, living in a high rise, that's nice regardless.
So anyway, she was leaving, and what happened?
She was leaving the next morning. He was still asleep. Well, I guess to get off of his floor, she said there's like a little lobby area, and it's all glassed in, like it's glass doors and glass windows. So she walked through the first set of glass doors and it closed behind her. And then she realized that she needed either a code.
So she trapped herself.
She trapped herself in a little glass cage. She's like, my hair's all fucked up. I'm wearing the same clothes that I had on from the night before, my high heels.
I look like I just got rode fucking hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She's in like a mini dress. Poor thing. She said
stained underwear.
She said she was stuck there for like 2 hours until someone else, I guess, finally was coming in that way and let her out. And she said it was some woman. They didn't even say a word to each other.
Would you want to say a word to somebody like that? No, I'd keep my head down and be like, so embarrassed.
No, she knew.
Such a whore.
She knew what was going on.
Yeah. No, they definitely knew what was going on.
So yeah, that's crazy. She trapped herself in basically a glass cage for like 2 or 3 hours. Because she said, she was like, it's not like I could, because she went home with the guy from the bar. So she was like, I didn't know his last name. I didn't even know what apartment number it was. She forgot what apartment number it was. So it wasn't like she could buzz him. It wasn't like she could text him.
Oh, that's great.
And the fact that it was all glass. So I wonder if people walked by and saw her in there. Like,
help me.
What's that girl doing?
Help me.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, thank you for that submission. That's fucking hilarious. I hope the sex was worth it.
All right. It is time for this week's cheating story.
Lay it on me.
This week's cheating story was actually written by this guy's sister. She sent it in and said, my brother thought that his girlfriend was possibly cheating, so he told the sister what he thought, and they started talking back and forth.
Yeah. Because that's what brother and sister do sometimes.
Sometimes, if you're that kind of close. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so she suggested that if she leaves her computer open to go through and just see if you see anything, or if her phone's out, maybe just check.
Yeah.
Like a good sister does.
Just go through their shit when they're not around, like I do.
Right. Well, he does this, right? He does this, and he finds out
you're gonna find some shit you don't want to see, dude.
Yeah, she was actually cheating on her, but the best part was who she was cheating on him with.
Who?
His sister's boyfriend.
Dude, what kind of fucked up love quadrangle
Right?
Jerry Springer.
That's what I was thinking. Jerry Springer all the way.
Is that?
I mean, I guess if you're really close in age with your sibling, a couple years, or it could have been a twin. Who knows?
And the town you live in is kind of small.
Yeah, I mean,
A limited supply of people to bang.
supply and demand. Yeah, no, but if they're close in age, they probably hung out a lot together.
Yeah.
So the girl had time to get to know the chick's boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I could see that happening. That's a horrible way to find out because
So how did the brother break it to his sister?
Oh, he didn't say, but just think about it. The sister probably had no idea, wasn't even crossing her mind.
That her boyfriend was cheating on her.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude, that's fucked up.
See, his girl fucked it up for everybody. If she could have just kept her cool, nobody would have found out.
No.
But anyway, I'm glad you did find out, though, and I kind of think it's awesome that, you and your sister had to go through the same thing together. That's funny. So thanks for sending us this week's cheating story.
Okay, so this one is funny. This is another language barrier story. So this guy, all he says is that he was in his front yard and some girl ended up in his front yard basically screaming at him and cursing him out in Spanish in the rain. He does not address, however, how she ended up in his front yard or how she came to be in his front yard yelling at him and cursing him out in Spanish. Fast forward to, I guess he somehow convinces her to go out with him, even though he doesn't speak a lick of Spanish. Because he said the whole time she was like just mouthing off at him, just going off. He said all he could do was just put his head down and all he could say was, I can't speak Spanish. But then I guess when she was done being mad at him, like she kind of acted like she was into him. To me, she sounds like she's bipolar as fuck, is what this sounds like. So yeah, somehow she signaled that she was into him. So I guess he convinced her to get in his car and they were going to go out on a date. They went to go get some drinks together. And he said the whole time that they were in the car, they alternated between her just flipping out, cussing him out in Spanish. He doesn't understand a word she's saying.
That's called kidnapping.
He's yelling back in English. She doesn't understand a word he's saying. And then she cools off and then they would make out for a little bit. And then he said she would flip again and then just go off on him. So this continued for a little bit. He drove her back home.
How did he know where she lived?
I don't know. He doesn't say. Like the story does not address it. Like there's so much left out. There's so much left out of this story. So he takes her home. She's, cussing and screaming and they're making out or whatever the whole way. They get back to her house. She walks in the door, turns around and looks at him like, are you coming in or what, fucker? He said that he went inside. He proceeded to just bang the hell out of her 5 ways from Sunday. She got mad again, chased him out of the house. And he was like, and I never saw her again after that.
The fuck?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. He said it was one of the most bizarre and one of the scariest, but one of the hottest experiences of his life, all in one.
I can imagine that would be fucking awesome.
Some crazy Spanish chick just
walks up to you,
going off on you.
Yeah,
maybe they were neighbors.
No,
I don't know.
No.
There's so much left out of that story. I thoroughly enjoyed it though. So thank you for that submission.
Have you ever went to the bathroom, met a girl in there while you're doing whatever lady stuff you do, and thought, this chick's pretty cool, I could be friends with her? Mm-hmm. And then, exchange numbers?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you go as far as to exchange numbers, but you're like, yeah, this shit's pretty cool.
You just, it's somebody you just click with. This girl's pretty cool. Yeah. Well, that's what this girl did. She was in the bathroom and she met this girl and they just clicked instantly. Mm-hmm. They exchanged numbers. The one chick was like, hey, you want to go and have dinner sometime and hang out? So she said she would drive, pick her up. Yeah. And well, anyway, they go to this really nice Italian restaurant. And the girl orders them both wine, tells the waiter to put it all on one bill. So this chick's like, what?
She's weirded out. She's like, what's going on?
What's going on? It starts to dawn on her after the girl says, it's really hard meeting girls in this small town. And I guess she got this look.
Oh.
This look of like shock and like, what the hell? Because she's straight.
Yeah.
And the girl was like, "Oh, you're not a lesbian?" And she thought it was going to be really awkward after that, but it wasn't. They actually started talking, and she's like, "No, I'm actually straight, and I'm happily married."
She was like, "I was just trying to meet girlfriends."
Yeah, so that's basically what it was. So they ended up they laughed about it, finished their dinner. She went to the girl's house after she dropped her off, and went in and apologized to the husband for taking his wife on a date.
Nice.
And just kind of explained the thing. But she said that the girl actually paid for her meal.
Oh, wow.
So, and then they never hung out again, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess,
well, I mean,
it's a little embarrassing after that.
It is. But hey, I mean, it sounds like they both were dignified about it. Like they were both polite about it and
oh yeah, and they got a chuckle out of it.
Made the best out of the situation.
Yeah, and they both had somebody to hang out with. Mm-hmm. So that was a great story, and I really appreciate you sending that in. So before we get into the rest of these stories, here's a word from Alicia.
We would like to thank everyone once again for listening to Dating Confessions. And remember, if you love the show, you love listening to us, and you want other people to love us too, don't forget to share us. Share us on all your social media. Text the hell out of your friends, out of your mom. Because you know moms like inappropriate shit too. My mom does. Your mom does. Don't be afraid. The holidays are coming up. We would be the perfect stocking stuffer. We couldn't do this without you. We appreciate all your support. So please share Dating Confessions with your friends. Go to confessionspod.com. And last but not least, don't forget to leave us a review on your favorite podcasting app.
All right, so this guy meets this girl online, and they go on this date. And I guess it's going pretty good because he says they were 2 hours into it. Mm-hmm. But at 2 hours in, nothing good ever happens.
Yeah, why are you going at it for 2 hours?
They go on a first date.
It's time to shit or get off the pot.
Right? First date should only last 20 minutes. Get to know the person. See if you guys click. Then make it a longer date. Anyway, so they go on a 2 hour date. And at the 2 hour mark, she gets a little crazy. And she's like, I got to confess something.
That's as long as she could do it for, huh? She couldn't. Yeah. She could only contain the crazy for 2 hours.
2 hours before she said, I just got out of serving a 2-year sentence in prison.
Ooh.
For giving blowjobs to teenage boys in the group home that I worked at.
What?
I'm now a convicted sex offender. Also, by the way, I'm married and I have a 6-year-old at home.
How does that work when you're a sex offender? How can you be... What?
Right?
Wow. Giving blowjobs to the boys that she worked with in the group home.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing with your life? Was there a second date?
That's a great story. Fuck no. I mean, for me, I would have maybe. I mean, she's probably pretty good at giving BJs. Had a lot of practice.
Dude, how did that not come out before the 2 hour mark, though? Like, did they not talk about, like, what she had been doing, you know? Did they not, like, talk about their lives or anything? Like,
I mean, that's probably something you want to thus negate talking about for them until you get to know somebody, not online.
I guess.
So, I was in prison for 2 years, sucked off a bunch of little boys in a group home.
You're gross. And she's married. Yeah, she sounds pretty gross. You probably would have caught something from her.
I would have at least tried to get a BJ.
Ew.
That's just me.
You're gross.
But thank you for that submission.
Okay, so this girl says that this happened when she was in college. She was home, on a break. She told her boyfriend to come over to her parent. She was at her parents' house. So she had her boyfriend come over one night. Her parents were upstairs asleep, or so she thought. So she said they're going at it, like on the kitchen table, like just going at it.
Hell yeah.
All of a sudden, they see the one of the upstairs lights come on. And they start hearing footsteps. So they like start to scramble. Like her boyfriend, he's able to find his pants. So he's able to get his pants on. She has no idea like where her clothes are or anything is. So she tries to run back to the other side of the kitchen. Sure enough, it's her dad coming down the stairs to go into the kitchen.
Horrible.
Well, the boyfriend, he tries to think fast because he's like, oh my God, we're about to get fucking caught. So I guess there was this giant jar of change that was sitting on the counter. So he decided that he would like just knock the jar of change off onto the floor, spill all the change onto the floor to kind of block the dad's path into the kitchen to give the girl some time to
How would spilling
find some
change?
Well, because what he did after he spilled it, he spilled it in the doorway, and then he kind of got down on all fours and tried to block the dad's path.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So he tried to
Okay.
create a diversion. That's what he tried to do. Well, that didn't work. He said dad just walked right past him anyway. And
That's
so-
what I would do.
Yeah. And so at this point, the
I'm
girl...
like, what a fucking dumbass. Walked
So-
over him.
He did. He walked over him. So at this point, the girl's like, "Oh shit!" She's still like naked. She hasn't found her clothes yet. Her bright idea is that she's gonna go try and close herself up in the refrigerator to hide from her dad,
Who is going to the fucking
who's
refrigerator?
going to the fucking refrigerator.
I mean, how the fuck do you not? What time is it? It's
Late, probably 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that.
the only reason you're getting up and going to the kitchen.
Is to go to the refrigerator.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Dumb.
So
Dumb.
she said she gets herself about halfway closed up in there. By this time, dad is at the refrigerator. He pulls the door open. She's trying to cover up her bits. She said he took one look at her and like turned away. He turned around. He walked right the fuck back upstairs. And she said they never spoke of it ever again. Ever.
Oh my god, what the fuck, dude?
Uh-huh.
I mean, didn't the dad notice the refrigerator door? I mean,
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he saw everything. But you know what? If I were, I could see, like me as a parent, I could see myself doing that. I'd probably be like, you know what? I'm not even, no, I didn't even see this. I don't even want to know. I'm just going back to bed.
that didn't happen in my life.
Good night.
It's something you just can't unsee.
No,
Ever.
nobody wants to see their naked daughter getting drilled by their boyfriend. That's gross.
I mean, she wasn't technically getting drilled.
No,
That
she
didn't-
was, they had just finished and she was trying to run away and hide. But yeah, that's funny. I quite enjoyed that one. You think the dad said anything to the mom? Probably not. He probably didn't say anything to anybody ever.
Yeah, that subject was never brought up ever again. Ever again.
It was never spoken of. That's crazy. So thank you for that submission.
So this submission here, it's a little longer than most, but it's well worth it.
Okay.
Okay, let me just find it real quick.
Okay.
So this girl took a business trip to Seattle, and she decided to flip open Bumble because she was in a new city. She wanted to meet somebody who wasn't as uppity as where she's from.
She wanted to relax.
Or not really. I wouldn't say uppity. I would say pretending they want to be uppity.
Okay.
That kind of person. So yeah, she was in a new town and she met this guy on Bumble. They had a conversation. I guess he builds rockets.
Like actual rockets?
Yeah, he builds and engineers rockets.
Nice.
Dude's smart. Not only that, he said that he competes in Mr. Olympia competitions, the bodybuilding competitions.
So he's strong
So he's smart and built.
and fit.
So this girl's like, what the fuck? This can't be happening. There's nobody could fit that criteria.
Yeah, like what's wrong with him?
Right. So she decides to do a little search, which isn't stalking.
I don't think it is.
No, she went to Facebook and found him. Yeah, it was really him. I mean, he really did build rockets for his job, and he really did enter bodybuilding competition. So she was like, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After finding all this out, she only had about 24 hours left before she had to leave.
Yeah.
So she messaged him, and they started talking. And then 2 months later, she found herself back on another trip there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she got a hold of this guy, and she's like, hey, I'm back in town for this long. Do you want to go meet up for drinks or something, maybe on whatever day?
Yeah.
He's like, well, my mom's coming into town, but if she doesn't come, I'd love to.
Mm-hmm.
And so she jokingly makes the thing, well, you know, it'll be all right. Your mom can join us too. And found out mom was coming. So he's like, hey, I'm going to meet this person. And he's like, but first off, he was to the girl, he was like, just don't tell my mom where we met. She'd think that's weird. So we can just meet up and hang out and, you know, and she's like, you know, I'm cool with that because I kind of brought it up and
Yeah.
And so she was cool with that. Somehow the mom finds her on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably because she Facebook friended him or something.
Son, yeah.
So she found her on Facebook and said, hey, the reason that I'm actually coming into town is because it's his birthday this week, and we were going to have a surprise party for him on the day that they were supposed to all meet up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the mom asked, hey, could you help
get him there?
Get him to the surprise party? She was like, what the fuck? I've never met this guy, and now
I've got to try to get him to a surprise birthday party for himself.
Yeah. So the mom basically said her mission was to deliver him to this chain restaurant to meet his closest friends, who she has no idea who the fuck they are.
Right.
And then she goes on to say, or if that's just too complicated, you could always tell him it's a surprise party for him and just spoil it. So this girl's horrified because this totally escalated way too fast.
Yeah, that's
from going
kind of a lot.
She scrambled to find one of the dude's friends on Facebook to introduce herself so it doesn't feel so awkward.
Right.
But nobody ever responded. And it was only like a few hours before they had to go to the party. Mm-hmm. They go and meet at this bar that was close.
Yeah.
And they started talking, and she was like, I really want to go to this restaurant. You know, he didn't want to go. He's like, the beer sucks there. You won't like it. And she's like, but I've heard really good things about this restaurant. Mm-hmm. And he's like, it's a chain restaurant. They have them everywhere. And
she's like really pushing it.
Yeah, so
like,
she's pushing it. And he's like, why? So they go there. It's actually his surprise party. Mm-hmm. And she says the best part of the night was his family and friends had zero clue who she was. And they all looked really super confused when the mom toasted the girl, saying, thank you for helping organize the party.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was one of the things she said. And the other thing she said was the obvious signs that they'd never even met before. But she said going into the parking lot was the only time they really had alone together, and they were only going out to the parking lot because the mom had a cake made in the car. Mm-hmm. I guess the guy, completely apologized because he had no idea that that's what the first date was going to be like.
Yeah.
She said, but that's a date that I'm always going to remember.
Oh, no doubt. Maybe she'll get sent back to Seattle.
But it was a great story. But yeah, how awkward would that be? Because you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you basically get volunteered into helping organize some random guy's surprise birthday party.
That all you were trying to do was fuck.
Uh-huh.
And you didn't even get to do that, but you...
Nope.
Yeah.
Hey, birthday party was a success, though. It was a total surprise.
So, sorry it didn't go as planned. Maybe like Alicia said, you'll get back there someday to get that dick. So, thanks for that submission.
Okay, so this shit right here comes from a dude. He said that he wanted to share with us his most embarrassing and shameful hookup story.
Oh, it can't be any worse than any of mine.
No, it's pretty bad.
Okay.
It's pretty bad. I don't have any backstory, but all this dude says is that his sister walked in on him right as my cum-covered dick plopped out of her boyfriend's ass.
What?
Okay, I have several questions. How did your dick end up in your sister's boyfriend's ass? Did you trip and fall? And
I mean, how didn't she not know that her boyfriend was gay? Really?
Dude.
I mean, there's signs. You can usually tell when someone loves the cock.
Yeah, because that's not you don't just end up with some dude's dick up your ass.
And how do you know your own brother isn't gay?
Maybe she knew.
She probably knew that.
She probably knew her brother was gay. Dude, what the fuck? Yeah, I would say that's pretty embarrassing and shameful.
That's almost embarrassing as that story we were talking about in the bonus episodes, which if you become a member, you can check out all our bonus episodes.
You guys should become members.
But the one with the dude saying on her date when he got bored, he randomly jerked off dudes.
Yeah. I don't understand some people.
Yeah. I don't get that.
It's pretty fucking funny. I have the visual that I get.
Oh, I have a visual
Dude,
too.
she came in right at that moment. Money shot. Dude.
I wonder how long
And
she
how
stood there.
How despicable are you? Like, why are you fucking your sister's boyfriend? Come
Why
on.
the fuck are you not locking your door?
That too.
Why the fuck don't you lock your door while you're fucking your sister's boyfriend? Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you fucking your sister's boyfriend when your sister is there? So many questions. I'm speechless. Yeah, I kind of want to know. I want to know what you guys think about that one too. That's a doozy. But we don't judge here, so thank you for that submission.
And thank you all once again for submitting your stories. And if you'd like to submit your story, just go to confessionspod.com, scroll down to Dating Confessions, and click the Share Your Story button. So, Alicia, which one of these is your favorite this week?
I think it was... There were a lot of good ones, but I liked the story of the guy getting yelled at by the Spanish girl in Spanish for no reason.
That was pretty fucking awesome.
It's just so confusing and bizarre and just crazy on so many different levels.
That's actually like one of the best stories I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those things I want it to happen to me.
You're still waiting for it.
I'm still waiting for it. But I mean, she doesn't even have to be Spanish or not even speak the language. She can speak the same language. Just come up to me, yell at me, start fucking me, and then leave. That's all I ask for in life.
You just wanted to run a little hot.
Yeah, that's all I ask for in life, really. That's not too much, is it?
I don't know. I mean, you do kind of ask for a lot sometimes.
I do.
So, on that note, which one of these was your favorite?
So, honestly, wow, because I had this favorite picked out. Then you had to go and tell the story about the chick walking in.
On her boyfriend
her brother.
getting railed by her brother.
Yeah. And I don't know if that, just the shock value alone of that story makes that up there, but I don't know if it makes it my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite was the lesbian chick who thought the chick was a lesbian and took her on a date.
Yeah, took her on a date. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good one.
Because I can see that happening, especially in a small town.
Oh, yeah. I could see where there would be a little bit of confusion, especially if they met like in a bathroom and like in a bar or a club and you're a little tipsy and, you know, everybody's kind of friendly and maybe a little bit touchy-feely. So maybe the girl was getting...
I could see that, especially like in the town I grew up in. You got that small town thing, and you go to a bathroom with a girl and you are a little drunk. And a lot of the girls that I know, they get a little handsy because...
Yeah. They're like, I'm bi for fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can see that happening. But that was my favorite because that's kind of hot.
Yeah. That was a cool one.
So let us know what your favorite story was this week in the comments. And until next time...
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Jack.